Well, hi everyone, this is Dr. Shoda with this week's video introduction to week number 5 of our course in the Principles of Patient and Staff Education. And this is officially the halfway point, 4 weeks down, 4 weeks to go. So we've got half of the test done roughly. And so you had a pretty busy week this week. You basically had 2 assignments going on. The first, of course, was our discussion question in the scenario that you're given with this gentleman, an 84-year-old gentleman who has high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, and glaucoma. And he's brought to the emergency room, and the task was to identify some signs that he may have some health illiteracy issues. And so, of course, there's a lot of things here. And everybody, I think, pretty much picked up on the major topics in the discussion this week. Of course, he doesn't know the name of the medications he's taking. He only knows that he takes a certain number of pills that he identifies by color at certain times of the day, but really doesn't seem to have any real grasp of the need for follow-up care or it's kind of inferred, it's not stated, but you can kind of make an inference that possibly one of the reasons that he fell at church was because possibly he's having some low blood pressure issues. That is something that would need to be assessed, and so of course he would need some information about that. And also the fact that nobody called his daughter. He didn't want his daughter called because he didn't want her bothered, he said, but that hints that there may be some denial going on. And nobody really seemed to take an interest in talking to his friend that was driving home as well. So these were all things that were brought up and ferreted out in the discussion this week. The important takeaway from this is it is important to understand that discharge instructions or giving patient information is more than just giving them something printed and say, here you go. Task done, I've done what I need to do. Really, it involves assessing a patient for their readiness to learn and for their ability to read and to understand the materials that are given to them. And that was also part of your assignment this week. The written assignment was on the patient education materials and to do an assessment, taking some complicated information, and I don't really want to use the term dumbing it down, although a lot of people would describe me that way, as taking information that is scientific and filled with medical and nursing jargon and turning it into information for a layperson so a layperson can understand it. So I will be reviewing those assignments later this week. As with the papers, I should have them all completed probably by next Saturday or Sunday. It takes me a while, anytime that we have any written assignments like this, it takes a little while to grade those. So you'll be getting the feedback on those throughout the week. In week number 5, we move on to continue with our discussion of health literacy, and we're going to talk about special populations this week, and you're going to be reviewing a scenario for an individual, a female, a single mother of 4 children who has schizophrenia. And so we're going to be talking about what are some of the issues that would need to be addressed here? What are some specific special population issues for this particular patient? And of course, as always, your initial responses are due by Wednesday, with 2 follow-up responses to peers due by Saturday, following the criteria in the class. And that's primarily the task for the week. One other thing I would like to wrap up also is, of course, everybody's received feedback on your first paper. And I've already received a couple of emails, well, basically just sharing some concern about, oh my gosh, my grade wasn't as high as I thought that it would be. There was a lot of feedback on your writing in this particular paper, and that's by design. You have your capstone courses coming up, and in those capstone courses, there's going to be a rather high threshold for writing. In fact, it's really a hope that you're going to be able to write or publish an article, or that you're going to have something that at least is publishable. So that writing feedback is the reason why there was so much. If it seems like a lot, if it seems like I were giving a lot of feedback, it's because that's an important concept and an important aspect of education and important aspect of this whole program. And so the only way to get better at writing is to get feedback on writing. So please know that I'm not trying to beat anybody up over the head. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm being super picky here. It's just that the only way to improve your writing is to get feedback on it. And so the feedback is, fairly matter of fact and straightforward, but also, hopefully supportive as well. So realize that um, the feedback is meant to help you improve. And if you have any questions about the APA feedback that I left you, if I pointed something as an issue on this paper, subsequent papers and subsequent assignments are expected to have that addressed or at least improved upon. So if you have any questions, please let me know. It's going to be important. It's going to be important into your other classes that are coming up as well. So with that, I hope everybody has a great week. It is Thanksgiving week, and so I think all of us are going to be modifying our schedules a little bit. Personally, on Thanksgiving, I'm going to be with family in San Diego. I'll be around most of the time, though I don't anticipate my personal schedule is going to be impacted too much, so you'll see me in the classes about as much, and the turnaround time on questions and so forth should be about the same. If you have any questions, as always, go ahead and send me an email. If you have any concerns with any of the timing this week, because it is a holiday week and we don't officially have holidays in the online program, but I do understand that some of you may be traveling and some of you may have family obligations that you're going to be meeting. So if you need special accommodation or would like me to consider any request for having things posted or posted on the same day through the class or whatever, I will handle that on a case-by-case basis. Go ahead and send me an email with those requests, but I don't anticipate that the holiday should mess us up too much with our scheduling for class. You don't have any written assignments this week, so it's really just the discussion questions. So I think that pretty much is it. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. I look forward to, as always, seeing you in the discussion forums, and we'll see you in class.